Let's start this story with an introduction to the bullies who are about to get bullied. The first guy in front of us is Ju Young-chil. Then there's the leader of these goons, Park Kang-wook. These zesty-ass bastards spend their days bullying weak students, extorting money from them, and repeating the cycle daily. Their current victim is a poor kid named Dong-gu. But that's about to change. Rumors have been spreading about a new transfer student who has been wiping the floor with every bully in the school. He just recently took down a few of the guys who were trying to steal food in the cafeteria. And as fate would have it, that very transfer student just walked into the classroom where these bastards are currently beating their first victim of the day. As for his introduction, his name is Doyle, and right now, he's looking for the so-called boss of this school. He turns to the goon in front of him and asks if he's the boss. But instead of giving a straight answer, this shithead makes the mistake of running his mouth unnecessarily. And for that, he earns himself a slap so fucking hard that his brain scrambles inside his skull, sending him crashing to the floor. The girls in the classroom are absolutely astonished. A guy with this much guts, this much presence, he's not just a Sigma, he embodies the ultimate Giga Chad attitude. Not to mention he's goddamn handsome. The friend of the goon who just got knocked out jumps up, clearly not happy about Doyle making moves in their turf without a single shred of hesitation. He starts yapping non-stop, questioning Doyle's audacity, asking Doyle if he even knows who he's messing with. Well, Doyle admits he doesn't. After all, he just transferred today. The goon, realizing words aren't enough, tries to throw a punch. And that's a big mistake. Doyle catches the bastard's filthy hand midair and twists his fingers so hard that he lets out a blood-curdling scream as if someone just boned him from behind. While calmly continuing to twist his fingers, Doyle repeats the question, "Are you the boss?" The goon, unable to endure the excruciating pain any longer, quickly points to his leader, Park Kang-wook. Of course, Kang-wook is not too thrilled that his own underling just threw him under the bus. But before he can react, Doyle delivers another slap so hard that the goon is down for good. With the path now cleared, Doyle walks up to Park Kang-wook and asks the same question. "Are you the school boss here?" Not surprisingly, Kang-wook makes the same mistake his lackeys did, running his mouth unnecessarily. So Doyle gives him a well-deserved punch right across the face, making him stagger backward. Instead of taking the hint, this unfortunate bastard decides to fight back and throws a punch of his own. And oh boy, the way Doyle dodges that punch is so fucking cool. Now it's Doyle's turn to show what he's got. His fist connects perfectly with Kang-wook's face. The second one also does not miss its mark. And to finish things off, he delivers a brutal kick that sends the bastard flying straight into the window, leaving his face a bloody mess. The students watching are absolutely stunned. Kang-wook is left battered, bruised, and with an ego just as broken as his face. With the job done, Doyle makes his exit with the same ferocity he came in with. Dong-gu, still barely able to process what just happened, takes a shaky breath. He never expected to witness something like this. Meanwhile, the TikToker girl in the back is totally smitten. All she can think about is getting clapped by this guy. Later, Dong-gu meets Doyle and makes a request to wipe out all the bullies in the school, just like he did in the classroom. But Doyle is not taking the job without the necessary compensation. You see, it hasn't been long since he came to Korea, and he is broke as hell. If Dong-gu wants to use his strength, it ain't free. Dong-gu argues that this is a righteous cause, that strong people should protect the weak. That's just how things should be. Well, Doyle doesn't buy into that bullshit. Nor does he have time to argue about it. His demand is simple: no money, no work. But Dong-gu is desperate and tries to plead one last time. He and his friends are living a life of misery. Not a single day goes by without them getting beaten. The worst part is that if they report anything to the teachers, they just get bullied even more. For Dong-gu, every day feels like wandering in endless darkness with no light or hope. But that was until yesterday. Seeing Doyle take out those bullies like they were nothing was the first spark of hope he'd seen in years. So he begs him desperately. But Doyle remains unmoved. He gets where Dong-gu is coming from, but he makes one thing clear: a man needs money to survive. And besides, he's already got his own fair share of problems to deal with. Hearing how Doyle is talking about money, Dong-gu remembers all the bullies who used to beat him to a pulp just to get cash out of him. So, bro finally explodes out in frustration, fed up with people messing with him just for money. Seems like Doyle has no choice but to explain his circumstances. You see, Doyle's father is the head of the world's top killer organization, known as Blackhead. And Doyle was born and raised there. But some time ago, his parents got divorced because his father was a toxic bastard who wandered down the path of misogyny and always made his mother cry. So, with no other choice, he and his younger sibling went to Korea with their mom without asking their father's permission. This, of course, enraged their father, who, in an act of revenge, blocked all the accounts under their names, leaving them with no money. While Doyle had planned to live in the tallest building in Korea, that all went down the drain because he had no money. With that said, he proceeds to walk away because today is his interview at Burger Kim, and he doesn't want to blow this opportunity. As he's saying all this, that TikTok girl who's fallen headfirst for Doyle is eavesdropping from the sidelines. Donggu, meanwhile, isn't sure if he should believe all this crap. But on the other hand, this guy doesn't seem like the type who makes ridiculous jokes. Regardless, Donggu offers him 50,000 won for each person he takes down. Well, the offer is enough to make Doyle stand still. Donggu isn't sure if he offered too little and wonders if he should have given extra. But contrary to his expectations, Doyle takes the job without a second thought. Meanwhile, the TikTok lady is still ogling at Doyle like a fan. Later, we cut to a group of thugs chilling under a gazebo. They've caught the rumor that Park Kang-wook got his ass whooped by a transfer student. This fatty is amazed that one single transfer student was able to beat Kang-wook and his two lackeys single-handedly. As for this fatso's introduction, his name is Park Ju-young, judo club captain. Park Kang-wook was a good underling to them, who extorted money from others and paid taxes to this fatty. But now, Fatty fears that his fat ass won't be able to eat more pizzas because their money supply has been cut off. Then there's another fatty, who shares the same thoughts. His name is Park Ju-dong, vice captain of the judo club. They're currently planning to take down that transfer student who doesn't seem to know how to mind his own business. But looks like they don't need to make any effort to find Doyle, because he's walked right into their territory to have a one-on-one with these bastards. We also have Donggu, hiding under a BoJack Horseman mask. Before Doyle engages in a fight, Donggu fills him in on how dangerous these bastards are. Kang-wook was just their underling, while these guys are the real deal. They're considered the capital bosses of Samoon High School. The judo twins, Park Ju-hyung and Park Ju-dong, are trying to become national athletes, so they keep their records clean during school and use Kang-wook for their dirty work. Kang-wook is the one who earns them money by bullying others. And if Kang-wook doesn't provide enough, they'll just beat the hell out of him. But as you can imagine, these introductions are unnecessary for someone like Doyle. All he wants to know is if these guys are his targets. We also notice that the TikTok girl, who has fallen head over heels for Doyle, is hanging around with the judo twins and still seems to be obsessing over him. She's watching the clip she recorded of him over and over. Her name is Seol Mina, by the way. She's clearly obsessed, still thinking about him. Seeing how she's fixated on her phone, Ju-dong is curious about why she's so invested in it. Whatever she's seeing, he wants to see too, but the lady flatly refuses. At the same time, we see Doyle coming in like a wrecking ball, landing a solid knee smash right on Ju-dong's face. The impact is brutal, and that fatso is literally knocked out cold with a single hit. The other fatty quickly lunges at Doyle, but he remains calm and composed, as if he's not scared at all. His nonchalant attitude throws the fatty off. For a moment, he wonders if Doyle has backup to give him this much calm. But before the fatty can process anything, he's rocked by a punch so hard that his bloody nose splatters like a messed up tomato. But things are about to get even more brutal for this poor fatty. Doyle swings his leg with lightning speed, aiming straight for the fatty's small balls. That ungodly strike is so overwhelming that it literally cracks the fatty's nuts. The explosion of pain is so intense that the bastard's soul momentarily leaves his body because the pain is just too unbearable. With that final punch to the head, Doyle seals the deal on the spot. Mina, on the other hand, is practically wetting herself watching this Sigma Doyle smash all these bastards. And once again, she can barely hold her urge to get herself clapped. With the two guys down, Doyle earns 50,000 won for each person. Next day, not only did Doyle rack up some money, but his riz and aura also earned him the title of the strongest man alive at Samoon High School. Brochures about the recent exploits of our hero are being distributed, which is more of a clear threat to all the bullies at the school. Whoever dares to go against the new king of fighters will face their doom. Doyle is currently being escorted by Donggu and his friends around like the king he is, all to expand his influence and attract as many eyeballs as they can. Doyle has no objections to what Donggu is trying to pull. So long as he's getting paid, he's fine. And for the record, Doyle wants to charge extra for this parade. As he's counting the money he's earned by taking down the bastards, he notices that the money he received isn't the full amount he was promised. He's sure he took care of 4 people, including the 2 judo pigs and their henchmen. He wonders if those other 2 guys don't count. Donggu clarifies that he only requested the elimination of the judo twins, namely Ju-hyung and Ju-dong. But Doyle isn't ready to hear any crap and demands Donggu cough up another 100,000 won. After all, Donggu's from a rich family, so even 200,000 won is just pocket change for him. Donggu suddenly stops to question Doyle, asking how he knew about his family background. What Donggu can understand is that Doyle only approached him because this bastard knew his family was rich. To get context on how Doyle came to know about his family, we cut to the past, where a few of Donggu's friends mention how his family is rich. So Doyle simply states that the entire school knows about how rich his family is, not to mention it was Donggu who approached him first. With that said, Doyle demands the 100,000 won Donggu owes